Welcome to Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle. My guest today is David Foster, musician, songwriter, composer, arranger, producer, and recording artist. He has won 16 Grammy Awards and been nominated 47 times. He's worked with artists from Streisand to Celine, Whitney to Chicago, and Bublé to Bocelli. Now at the age of 75, he is in his third round. I spoke with him in Los Angeles. Hello, David.
Hello.
You've had phenomenal success as a musician, producer, songwriter. So what do you want to accomplish in your third round?
Well, I've always said, at least in my own mind, that I think people get basically 3 rounds, as you alluded to. And I sort of can point definitively to my first 2 and what I did. In my round 3, it points to Broadway. It points to trying to take less time or more time off, which hasn't happened yet. But I haven't been in the studio making records for 10 years. And it doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has. And it feels great because I was in there for 40 plus years, like in a submarine environment and no windows. Slide the music out, slide the food in, slide more music out. And, you know, the artists got to go and enjoy the fruits of our labor, and I just made more music. So now I tour, and I get to experience what the audience is listening to songs that I wrote or co-wrote or produced, and it's been a great round 3 so far.
Well, what was it? It was Ronnie Hawkins, right, who gave you the advice?
Right.
But he was the one who sort of said, you know, if things aren't working, then retreat and attack from another direction.
Yeah, and Ronnie, as we all know, was an amazing guy, and yes, he did say that. When it gets tough, retreat and attack in another direction, because there's so many people in every walk of life that when things start going bad, they just keep hammering at the wall, like, I'll get through the wall, I'll get through the wall. No, you're not gonna get through the wall. Go around the wall. And I've done that a couple of times in my life. Most recently, at the end of the 90s, when I really sort of stopped writing hit records. And that's when I found Josh Groban and Michael Bublé and hooked up with Andrea Bocelli. And that carried me through right till almost now.
You've had some great mentors, though. I mean, Quincy Jones obviously was a really important one to you. What did he teach you?
Quincy was so unique on every level. Like I've heard since his passing, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, now you could be the new Quincy Jones, or now this guy's going to be the new Quincy Jones. No, there's no new Quincy Jones. It's never, ever going to happen. He was a movement. He wasn't just a record producer, he was a movement. There's nobody like him.
But he said to you, don't compromise. Never compromise.
Well, he said, compromise breeds mediocrity. Yeah. I handed him an album that I had done, and I immediately started making excuses for it. I was newly a producer and so proud. Hey, Quincy, look at me. And I said, oh, track number 1's not that good, but track number 2 is great. Track 7, the vocals are out of tune. And he's like, your name's on it. What are you doing? Why are you making excuses? If your name's on it, it better be great, or as great as you know how to make it. And I never forgot that.
You were born with perfect pitch. So tell me the story about how that was found out.
Well, the story, I don't know if it's even true or not. And of course, my parents aren't around to verify it, but apparently my mother was dusting the piano and I said, that's an E. She didn't know what an E was, so she called my father, who was a great amateur musician, got him home at lunch hour, and he said, yeah, that's an E. How did he know that? And I don't know how I knew it, but that's the story they always told, so I'm sticking with it.
And they were always hugely supportive of you as a musician.
I often think about kids, young adults, teenagers, that don't have the support of their parents, and I just wonder what that would feel like, to be talented, or to be good at something, which every kid is.
Or just to love it.
Yeah. And my parents were so supportive, and they spent their last dime literally trying to propel my career. They obviously saw something, and it just, I don't know what that would feel like to have not had that support. And also, my sisters, I have 6 sisters, and to this day, 5 of them are still alive. To this day, my sisters are amazing. They're not jealous, they support me, they're happy for my success, and they share in my success, but from afar. They never want to, they never want me to go out of my way for them, which I love to do for them. But they're just, they're Canadian. They're everything's, I'm sorry.